ultimately, I hate to bring this back to Moses, but I have to. Um, you say communism is bad because, well, it creates certain inequitabilities based on a sort of national pyramid scheme, or ultimately creates a bunch of flubby-bubby bodies which have no discipline or challenge in life. But clearly, before communism existed in the Orient, strong methods of methodologically validating the interest of all as opposed to the interest for one, which any minority could break off of at any point. The LGB has proven it. Why I'm not allowed to get a negroplasty and talk like a British man while everybody gets boobs and changes their hormones, I will never know. I would never actually get a negroplasty or talk regularly in the British accent. But I am a baker, and my slave name was given to me by a British crown who needed cakes and bread. Anyways, communism. The Christian foundation is built off of not the acts which gave the Jews a position to start their own land, not the war and genocide against the Egyptian children or the people which are no longer recognized who originally owned and prevailed survival in ancient Israel, which wasn't Israel before they got there. And I think to myself about how and why, in this state of extreme communism, Moses and the Hebrews were in the midst of coming out of slavery, why and how that existed. Because, obviously the pyramids were the greatest of pyramid schemes of them all, invoked through very deliberate forced labor, which had to sort of confide in this interest because, I don't know, you didn't want to deal with slave traders, wild men, or yada yada, and somehow got pushed into this slave trade in an economic structure which was very capitalist, very much based on jealousy, greed, and special trinkets. Now, where and how communism worked and prevailed in creating the cultural foundation of that which you'll see in every Holocaust museum across America. A beginning piece to where we founded ourselves out of capitalism in a position where economic structures be damned. Just left a modern civilization to create a new world. Obviously, it's not going to be as modern. Obviously, it's not going to be as great. Obviously, it's going to ask people to do things they wouldn't normally think to do to make sure that the future population is stable and happy. So we recognize our imposition through modernization and capitalism in a subsidized world where America subsidizes human labor while China subsidizes government interests and anything from 5G to whatever. We have a problem. We have a significant problem. But if America so doth choose to enter out of slavery by this corporatization and structure, which is monotonizing and dequalifying individuals with as low a possible cost, because if you find a man with 100 IQ who is desperately needing authority, power, and a bill payment, he will take 50K. And the intelligent man who could do anything could work subservient to him till he finds what he gets. In a society which says with this intelligence and this knowledge and this ability, you can have it all. You know, I think about this very intellectually, and I imagine where and how China is about to have its short super supremacy through criminal initiatives to modern technologically advance people into a less concerned position to not having privacy in light of the government's need to isolate criminals as opposed to fuck with you, which is what the Americans are doing to me right now. You know, you can sustain a common day principle where it's like, you know, just don't do the wrong thing. Keep yourself safe, keep everybody happy. That's not so bad. But how and where communism has a plight as the underdog. As the overdog, it becomes an overlord, and nobody likes it anymore. So we see where communism and capitalism aren't a chicken and egg. Communism and capitalism are used in communal context to prevail in isolation or integration through means into which will prevail in providing for their offspring. So, what do I suggest? Capitalist undercover measures to decompromise the source of the barter trade through industries and governments which seek to subsidize a competitive source because of future integration, a competitive nature under which you have an excuse. Corona is an excuse to health-based, medicine-based socialize and put a foot up the ass of any billionaire who seeks to continue on a plight to become a billionaire through this necessitative life-saving conduit. That's critical. You know,